The storm rolled into Dodge City, Kansas at 2:30 p.m.
It buries town after town, renewing itself as it moves its way south. It's picking up fresh dirt, and it's just hammering town after town after town.
By 5:30 in the afternoon, the storm had traveled another 180 miles to Boise City, Oklahoma. That's where Charles Shaw's relatives were heading to bury a family member. Their account of getting caught in the worst storm of the decade would become part of the Shaw family's collective memory.
They got 6 miles out of town and noticed the black blizzard coming in. The men decided there wasn't any way that they were going to make it back to Boise City in time to avoid the storm. So they buttoned down the cars the best they could.
To protect themselves from the dust, everyone wet down their handkerchiefs and tied them around their faces. They took refuge in their cars, rolled up the windows, and prepared for the worst.
If they had a car that was not protected well enough, well, they thought it better to get under the car. A lot of them rode it out that way.
One old-timer told me it was like 2 midnights in a jug. It was just completely black.
18-year-old Thomas Johnson was walking home when the storm struck. With no place to hide from the duster, Thomas fell to the ground and tried to crawl through the blizzard. The gritty dust lodged beneath his eyelids. When his family found him later that night, his eyes were plugged full of black dirt and he couldn't see. Thomas would never see again. The AP photographer and reporter, Eisenhand and Geiger, were 6 miles outside of Boise City when the front end of the giant storm slammed into the Panhandle. They stopped so Eisenhand could photograph the monster, now 2,000 feet high and 200 miles wide.
This is what every photographer dreams of. He was in the middle of this epic storm, and he clicked away and got some extraordinary pictures of this thing.
He and Geiger then jumped back in the car and barreled east at 60 miles an hour, trying to outrace the storm. Eisenhand's photograph would play in papers across the country, but he wasn't the only one to capture the mammoth storm. Anyone who had a camera and the guts to stand still long enough grabbed a shot of history on Black Sunday.